Hi guys, welcome to Mikey's Video Game Madness. Pretty much to most of your guys' dismay, I'm playing another JRPG, so if you're still here after hearing that, today we're playing Shin Megami... Let me try this again. Shin Megami Tensei, or some people call it Mega 10 series. Persona 4 for the PlayStation 2. This is also available on the PlayStation Vita, Persona 4 Golden. If you have that, I definitely recommend getting that. I haven't played it personally, but it's basically this game with updated graphics, more or less high resolution. Nothing's really updated, and extra characters and extra scenes. And what makes this game special is not necessarily the battle system, but the whole social aspect of this game. Now, I don't know how well I'm gonna do, because I backtracked and I accidentally deleted the file that I was planning on to make a video with. So I have shitty little monsters to fight with me, or personas. I'll explain as we get there. So any of you don't get upset, this game and this video will have mild spoilers, but even though I'm 35 hours in this particular save file, this game is like 100 hours long, so I'm not really spoiling anything. And the part I'm about to play is really been like covered in magazines and stuff like that, because it was a pretty big deal. This came way late in the PlayStation 2 cycle. The PlayStation 3 was out for quite some time. I believe this came out in 2008. That might be just Japan, so it might have came out in 2009. I played the fighting game of this not too long ago, maybe a year or so ago, and that was actually the official sequel of this, so it's weird to have a fighting game as a sequel to a Japanese RPG. So let's start. I'm gonna try to finish the last boss of this dungeon, which is where it's around. I can't remember if I'm leveled up high enough. I have shitty personas. You can come here once you collect your personas, which are these little monsters and cards. Are usually from different religions and occults and stuff like that. It's kind of cool. It's kind of like Pokemon, where you can fuse them. You can fuse 3 at a time or 2 at a time and combine them. Like if you wanted to combine, I'm not going to combine anything, but I'm going to give you that idea. You have all different kinds with all different powers, like electric, fire, etc. And it's like in most RPGs where you use something cancel each other out. So you'd pick this, and then if you highlight anything else, you'll see that on the right side it'll show you what it'll turn into. So if I pushed OK, it said it can turn into this guy, and you can basically push OK or deny. I'm denying it, but anyway, it's quicker to level up your personas that way than to actually grind. Now what you want to level up when you fight, when you grind, is your actual regular character, because you have a regular character that fights, and then a character that that's your persona that fights with you, kind of like a Pokemon, but your personas don't die, only you do. And if your main player dies, kind of like Final Fantasy 13, then you die as well. This game by default, you only control your character. Again, kind of like Final Fantasy 13, but there's an option to have direct control over all your characters. I highly suggest you do that. Alright, to begin with, we're basically trying to save people here. We're inside this realm that you get through by crawling through a TV, and basically on a rainy night, like this channel comes on called the Midnight Channel, and it'll show somebody in the TV, and as time progresses on, like the person gets closer to death, and then after 3 consecutive nights of rain, they die. So basically in the beginning of this game, we're treated to a nice grisly murder scene of somebody being hung upside down by electrical wires on a telephone pole. So Even though this game has lighthearted aspects to it, it's kind of dark. This is a mature rated game. So these people get together. Some are rescued, some are just curious about it, and they get together and try to prevent further murders from happening. And these people are stuck in the TV, and they battle with their own persona, which is basically a negative personal aspect of themselves that manifested into an actual thing. And in order to beat the persona, you have to kind of accept that that's a part of you, because it's usually a negative aspect, like vanity or being like too selfish or whatever insecurities you have. Like a lot of times that'll manifest, and the level will reflect around that. So we're going in to try to save this guy who's reflecting with struggling with his sexual preference. And this was actually somewhat of a big deal. This isn't covered much in video games, and it doesn't go all full out like about it, but you can tell what they're trying to basically say. So these people are calling in the Midnight Channel, try to save this guy before the 3 days of consecutive rain where he would eventually be murdered in some way. And basically, if you don't save the people in time, you'll get the option to rewind a week and try again, but usually you have enough time. This is fairly early in the game, even though it's 30 hours in. There's a lot of socialization. This is Teddy. He's kind of like a little guardian at the gate. He kind of helps you out. I have no idea why it's a bear with a zipper on him, but that's just him. If you're curious in the story at all and you don't like RPGs, the sequels actually has a lot of story elements into that, and that's a fighting game, so I definitely would check it out. These people also have to wear these special glasses so they can see the shadow people that roam, which are some of the demons and things you kill. And when you fight, you have the chance of getting cards which has a persona on them, which is what you battle with beside yourself. I'm stuttering a lot because there's a lot of information I have to fit in a short amount of time. You have the option to start at the beginning. Usually that's a good idea if you grind. Once you get strong enough though, I would suggest you starting at a higher level, because you don't get that much experience points for weaker enemies. I'm gonna try to go straight to the boss. I might fail miserably, I don't know. Again, I don't remember what level I was when I beat the boss. So this guy's Nightmare World. It's kind of like Nightmare on Elm Street, really, where like your fears and everything are manifested itself, including the world. That's kind of what it reminds me of. This game has some catchy J-pop soundtrack, which is kind of cool. The battle system's pretty simplistic, but I don't know if I'm gonna be able to beat the boss. I would like to fight these guys without having to use a persona, but I don't see that happening. And you can do an analysis. Sometimes it'll tell you what they're weak again. I don't even know what to use for this. So I'm gonna summon my little persona. And if you're not sure what the power does, you can push square and it'll tell you. Let's see here. You want to at least have one character that has media as soon as you get it that actually heals all your characters to some certain extent. She's gonna be basically worthless because they're not vulnerable to ice at all. Surprisingly, even though she doesn't have a weapon, a lot of times she has the strongest attacks. Man, they don't even get... I don't remember it being this hard. I swear, it's always when you make a video, things get complicated. Oh, more enemies? Son of a bitch. I forgot what these are weak against. I think they're weak against electric, I'm not sure. They are not. See here. Attack up. Oh boy. See here. We're already off to a rough start. If this video takes too long, I might not post it, but that probably won't mean much to you if it's not posted. How's he avoiding? That pisses me off so much when they avoid the attacks. You can usually walk around the enemies, which is what I would like to do. My dog is snoring, if that's what you're hearing on the microphone. She snores as loud as a damn person. She actually gets allergies like a regular person does. But when you're trying to do something, it's kind of loud. Alright, we have steps. I hope this is the last part. Yeah, here it is. I'm not gonna save. I'm just gonna level up or restore my character's health. And you can do that by going to skill. Going to Yukio. Or Yukiko. If I'm saying all these names wrong, I apologize. And it's pretty pathetic because they actually say them in the name quite a bit. So we're gonna go to media and hope for the best. If I lose, I lose, whatever. Well, yes, I want to open the door. That's why I went to it. So that's his little alternate self that he's struggling with. So you can see he's just kind of struggling with it, and the more you struggle with it, the more powerful and the more upset they get. In real life, he's like this tough guy that tries to act kind of macho and rebellious. So this is like the complete opposite of him, but this is a part of him deep down inside. In order to fight it, you have to accept it. But since this is an RPG, you have to literally fight it. But this actually made a pretty big deal, and not in a negative way. It was just like a topic that was not covered very much ever in most video games, and they were scared when they translated this game if this part of the game would have translated well, because you know you're kind of treading on thin ice when it comes to a topic like this, because you can offend a lot of people very easily. This video is not that talkative, it's because I don't want to interrupt. But there's over 300 other videos if you don't like this one. I know a lot of people aren't going to be into this video, but I guess the way I can look at it, it is my channel. I want to put stuff up that I want to watch personally. Alright. That just looks like something, I can't remember what that game series is called, where you play as that guy that has all the muscle men. What the heck is it? I played the shooter. It's a terrible game on PlayStation 1. It's a Japanese game. I'd be butchering the title. But it's the one I played a while back that has all those muscle men. That's what that monster reminds me of. So, the key to this, if I don't fail miserably, is the first kill the guy on the left, then the right, and then fight the guy in the middle. You notice they're all wearing glasses in their profile. That's so they can see. If they take them off, they can't see anything. Like, this whole world's super foggy. It's not like Silent Hill, the first one, where they purposely put fog to hide the draw distance. I do like the animation style a lot of this game. I'm not a terribly huge anime fan. Like, I can appreciate decent animation, but I don't watch anime specifically. But I really do like the way that this particular series draws its characters, because even though like the characters have like an anime look, it has its own look and vibe. The game isn't really this hard. I just I erased my save file. I should have leveled up more, because if there's an indication, if you're on a floor and you even struggle the slightest, meaning getting hit just a little bit, where you have to restore your health at full health, that means you need to level up, and I just didn't, and that's why I'm in the predicament I'm in now. But don't let this game scare you away. if it looks hard. It's because I made a stupid decision. Stupid decision, but yet I still finished it. But I had to use one of those soul things, and if you don't play on easy, you won't have that opportunity. And it doesn't matter what difficulty you want to play. Nobody's gonna look down on you if you're not a hardcore RPG person. They won't put you down and take you out of the family will or anything like that. But yeah, now I'm gonna level up. Could have used it before. And Yosuke gets jack shit for dying. And he has some weird mist coming off of him. See, he's rejecting it, he's not accepting it. That's what kills you. He doesn't know. I mean, it's still a compliment, come on. Anyone except my channel, please subscribe, like. I know this is long. I think my channel would be more popular if I conformed and did what everybody else wanted. But again, I just make a channel for things that I would enjoy watching. So I know it's not for everybody, and I have to pay the price of not having the most subscribers in the world. So whatever. But this isn't mass, and I'm not having to confess to anything. But I am. It gives the channel a more human approach. Gives it a more human aspect, whatever way you want to word it. It's just more human. I guess that's one of the things I like to watch too. Always wanted to have one of those talky videos where people, like, where someone just talks and they just passionately talk about their life or stuff like that, or things they're into. Lawn Boy, what is it, 1973 or whatever, I can't remember what his actual, what the number is on his name, but he's on my subscriptions list or whatever, if you want to check him out, if you can look there. But he actually has a lot of good videos with that. Let's see. You have to make sure that, well, you don't have to, but in order to get social points to connect with people, which gives you a better chance of making better personas, it's usually better to get along. And part of the game of leveling up is actually a social aspect. So we got him out a few days early. See, you had to crawl into that big, nice TV in order to go to the different world. They tried to pull the main character into a small TV, but it didn't work out well. So basically this game starts out, I didn't mention any of this, you're from the city and you come to, which this is supposed to be like some country town, I can't remember why, but you spend the whole year in this country town and you go throughout the seasons and stuff. It's pretty cool. I like it a lot. I'm not a terribly huge fan of like grinding and fighting and RPGs, but if it has a compelling story and is interesting, it makes it worth it for me. Though some battle systems are fun, this battle system's kind of fun because I'm starting to get used to it and how to make personas. This video was somewhat of a bad example of me fighting. I might cut a portion of the fighting out because I didn't talk that much and it would make this video significantly shorter. But I made some bad choices because I went way earlier than I was supposed to. But beside that, yeah, the story and the social aspects of this game makes it different from almost every other RPG. So when the people on the TV, they're missing, his uncle, which is him, is actually a detective, so he actually is trying to find out what happened to the missing people and stuff like that, while you actually know and you're trying to get them. It's kind of weird. You get to pick what you get to say sometimes. Meth, duh. Yeah, taking girl to the textile shop. I promise. Yeah. And you're gonna have to watch, and you're gonna grow up dysfunctional. And you'll probably end up sleeping with a lot of boys that remind you of your dad due to your insecurities, and end up having a dysfunctional relationship life. But it's cool because you'll always have the Lifetime network to lean back on when you have a shitty day and you want to see something that's shittier than your life. Of course they have to be dramatized movies that are way shittier than real life, but whatever, it's what gets you by. They have the Lifetime network in Japan, I doubt it, but they probably have some equivalent. So today's Sunday, I have the day off. I should watch the Home Shopping Network, which I can do. This didn't happen the last time I played this. Interesting. So this game must change depending on I guess how you play and the small decisions that you make. I think since I finished the fight early, I was free on Sunday instead of going to fight, so I'm gonna just go with sure. So instead of watching the Home Shopping Network, I think it's his soccer friends. I can't remember. Usually the other guy invites me. Or football. Yeah, it's his football friends. I know most of you guys don't call it soccer. I have very few American people that watch my channel. I guess most Americans aren't into watching games of that I play on like YouTube. I notice most American people play Call of Duty games, I guess. I don't know. The only other channel I really see that's American that plays it that isn't quite retro, it's a classic game room or whatever, and there's a handful of other American based channels, but they're usually niche channels that usually focus on like one genre or retro gaming. But most of my viewers are not American. I find that interesting. I don't even know what I accepted because I was talking. I read every kind of books. It's actually really good to read books because they raise different parts of your personality, which helps you actually, depending on what girl you're trying to ask out and stuff like that. This game has somewhat dating sim aspects, or if you're trying to communicate with somebody better, like reading books and doing certain activities actually increases your chances. She's kind of a tomboy. She wants to be tough, but at the same time she wants to be girly because she's friends with that Asian girl, Yukiko, excuse me, I keep on saying her name wrong. Sorry, dyslexia, it's a bitch. But she always gets jealous like when all the boys talk to her and stuff, so she's kind of insecure. And you don't really have a full out like drawn out level of her persona, but it's kind of explained, and that's why she kind of likes to be in control of things, because she's kind of jealous of her friend. It's kind of like a soap opera, but it's fun, I promise, and it's not cheesy all the time. Like, there's cool parts where people get hung upside down by telephone wires, which is pretty awesome. And it was animated. Well, not the person because they were dead, obviously. It was a static image, but it was an animated static image. Wow, I really fought that guy early because I remember getting money way before I ever fought that guy. Now I'm getting it after. Yeah, I totally wasn't prepared for that fight. It shouldn't have taken so long. Yeah, I can't even communicate with him. I was able to communicate with him. See, it said I didn't have as much expression. If you go to the drama club in school, that'll raise your expression levels. And you have to keep track of the weather. Not right now because you don't have to look for anybody. But as you can see, Friday and Saturday it's starting to consecutively rain. If it rains 2.5 or 3 days in a row, fog will happen on the last day, and if you haven't saved the person yet, it'll make you start a week backwards in time so you can save the person. So you can pick what you want to do. You can study at the table, you can work, which you make envelopes. If you want to watch the forecast, you look at your TV on Sundays, which I missed at mornings. You watch the home shopping network and actually order stuff, or you can sit on the couch and read. And depending on what book you have, it'll raise a different stat. If you read thoroughly, you get more points. There's not going to be much to do because this game's expecting you to grind right now. So that's Yukiko or Yukiko. I keep on saying her name wrong. Well, yes, walk a girl home. Are you serious? Man, this happened way earlier. So you gotta kind of another girl asking to do something. So you have to manage all your friends, and each friend has a specific social trait that'll help you with your personas and whatnot. So you have a choice. Well, we have a classroom segment now. They curse a lot. I think I was gonna say I don't know what kind of tone that they wanted to take for this game, but I think the cultural references are different. I don't think cursing and stuff like that might not be as inappropriate in Japan. Maybe they're more lenient against that and violence. Because sometimes this game doesn't seem like a mature game at all. Like for that exclusively have people 17 and up to be able to play it, at least here in America. And then it throws a curveball at you, like people being hung upside down by electrical wires, murder, cussing, talks about homosexuality, drinking, sex, alcohol. I mean, a lot of times it's just implied, but still, a lot of games don't mention such things. My knowledge has increased. You can talk to the various students. Sometimes they give you missions. Like this guy wants to know about this girl on the roof. You can walk to the rooms individually, or you can go to a quick menu and go to where you want. I'll go to the quick menu for the sake of this video. Talk to that girl that seems super boring. She's just like, I like pets. Okay, that's enough information. I guess you gotta talk to her a lot or have some sort of charisma thing. This is the weather girl. That's Chi over there. If you want to hang out with her, you'd go and talk to her. We'll go to drama club and then call it a day. And I believe drama club is in the practice building. And it's the door with the sign on it. See, now I think I'm gonna be able to talk to my uncle. More drama on the way. I still can't get over this sequel of this game, at least story-wise. Is actually a fighting game that just blows my mind. Usually the Persona games are standalone story-wise, at least to my knowledge. I haven't played the older ones. I have Persona 3, but that's about it. But from what I've actually read, I think if you say I was worried about you, you might not have enough courage. I can't remember. Sometimes when it comes to girls, you have to have like a lot of courage to be able to say the most supportive thing. Her dad's supposedly in the hospital because he's dying, and the mom's upset, and apparently the dad treated everybody like shit and walked out on him over another woman, and I guess she's angry because the mom's being supportive even though he'd left both of them, so she's super conflicted. Man, I sound like I'm talking about an episode of Degrassi, which, if you're not familiar with that, is this stupid teenager show that I think it's Canadian, that my sister used to watch religiously. I couldn't stand it because there's so many better shows on TV, but she liked it. But I promise you, the social aspects combined with the gameplay and the slight references to the cult and the monsters and combining everything is fun. Sometimes it's hard to find the right thing to say. It can either make or break you. I don't know if that was the right thing to say or not. I guess it was. I got speech out of that. Now your social link grows. That's why when you see to check your social link, sometimes it helps you decide what friend you want to hang out with. You see that it's card related, so this actually helps you create better personas that are stronger. Personas, again, are like the monsters that fought. I had relatively weak personas, which basically kicked my ass. You probably won't see most of that because I've decided I'm probably going to cut it out just to make this video shorter, because right now it's at an hour and 7 minutes, which is ridiculous time. So yeah, basically it just helps you make a better persona, and you just want to check on which social link that you need to grow, and each individual friend basically strengthens a particular social length. I mean, social rank. I said length because I'm thinking about how long this video is. You usually get to pick one activity over school, and then you'll go to your house, depending on who needs to talk. Sometimes you can help your family members out by talking to them and spending time. Why do people die? See, I don't have a high enough level of expression So if I want to be able to help her out, I would have to go to certain classes and take on certain activities in order to strengthen those abilities. So instead of reading this time, just for the sake of doing something different to end this video, I will make envelopes, because nothing says ending a video like making envelopes. And I increase diligence, which again helps me with other things. I forgot what, but it does help out. I'm going to speed up the pace and do it haphazardly, excuse me. Wow, I made a lot of money. Alright, I'm going to attempt to say this again. I'm probably going to butcher it like I do the characters' names. But that was Shin Megami Tensei Persona 4 for the PlayStation 2. Definitely recommend you playing that if you have a PlayStation Vita. It's the highest rated game on the system. Definitely check out Persona 4 Golden if you have the choice between the PS2 version or the Vita version. The Vita version is the best version because it has extra stuff and better graphics. But if you're into RPGs, well, JRPGs, because I know now that they have all these American RPGs out and they're just as popular. Usually when you used to say RPGs, when you're talking about a console, you automatically thought it was JRPGs. You assumed that it was a JRPG. Now that Elder Scrolls and Mass Effect and Dragon Age are all popular, saying an RPG doesn't mean much anymore in terms of where it's from. It's become very general. But if you enjoy JRPGs, are interested in this, I'd definitely check it out. But again, if you have the choice, play Persona 4 Golden. And if you're interested in the story and like fighting games but don't like RPGs, I definitely recommend playing Persona 4 Arena, because it actually does have story elements when you play the story mode. So much that it has scrolling text and spoken out dialogue that's somewhat lengthy, so you kind of get the best of both worlds. But anyway, thank you guys for being patient and watching this. If you're still watching this, if you're not, I guess you won't hear any of this. I was gonna say, it's sorry about making a RPG video, that there's other videos out there, but obviously you wouldn't have gotten this far. So for those of you that are still watching and that were interested, thank you for watching, and I will talk to you guys on the next video, or whatever video you watch, or never again if you hate this channel, because obviously you wouldn't watch any of my videos unless you're one of those people that just watch things that you dislike so you can hate it more. Anyway guys, thanks for watching. Bye.